a historic building there. It used to be the Sandstone High School. The locals there call it The Rock. It's now got a new name called Book Match. It's been transformed into rental housing, yet preserving history there. And that's because a big part of this is because a Minneapolis-based company called Gilpine that restores historic buildings, and this is one of them. Interesting approach, interesting vision here. And joining us now is Megan Elliott, the founder of Gilpine. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Interesting history that you have that I was looking at in your interest in, before we get to the details of this project, your interest in revitalizing old properties, coming from your childhood in California, and really motivated by after an earthquake. Tell us more about that.
Sure. Like you said, I am not from Minnesota, but I am proud to be here today. I was in California, and I'm going to immediately date myself here, but I was in California in 1989 during what was called the World Series earthquake. And people my age or older might remember when that upper deck of the Bay Bridge in San Francisco literally fell on the lower deck.
I remember very clearly. Yeah.
And much of San Francisco was impacted. But what a lot of people don't know is that that earthquake was epicentered about 100 miles south in the town that I was going to high school in called Santa Cruz. And in the course of 2 minutes, almost the entirety of downtown Santa Cruz was lost. And I remember, and I'm I think 15 at that point in my life, that everyone had lost a tremendous amount of their lives and their livelihoods. But in addition to that, what struck me is how physically lost we all were, and that we literally used the world around us to navigate and to find our way. And I think at that point, I started to think about how much we build of ourselves, our memories, our community into the places and the construction around us, and how important it is for us to understand what we've built in order to make good decisions and build better in the future. So that set me on a path of trying to understand the built world around us and trying to retain as much of our heritage as we can through that built process.
Yeah, and now this leads you to projects in which you kind of save old buildings and give them a new life. I know we're going to talk about this Sandstone project, which is now leasing for this. You had another project in Duluth that transformed an old jail into apartments as well.
Yes, I picked an easy project for my first one.
Transforming a jail. I mean, the architecture there is very unique to try to transform that into living spaces.
Yes, that was the old St. Louis County Jail that a lot of people might remember sat vacant in Duluth, and it's right by City Hall, so it's a very prominent building. And it was a very distressed and vacant building, and that one was vacant probably for about 20 years before I took it on. It is now home to 33 households and is creating vibrancy in downtown Duluth.
And then you turn to the what was known as The Rock, the Sandstone High School, built in 1901, but basically abandoned for the last couple of decades. And looking through the pictures on your website of what it looked like before you started, it was in really, really rough shape.
That's an understatement. We had 3 areas of the roof had collapsed, and the school had been vacant since 2004 when the school district ultimately left the site. There had been two development attempts, but it is a very challenging building, as you mentioned. So you probably know that a building without a roof in Minnesota doesn't last long. And with 20 years of rain, water, ice coming through that building, it was full of 4-legged creatures, pigeons, asbestos, lead-based paint. There were even some classrooms that, I'm not kidding, had grass growing in the wood floors.
So what is the process here in terms of trying to transform that into what it is now? I mean, you have to first envision what you can do with the space, but then, I mean, the enormity of the effort to try to clean that up and repair it is just, I can't even comprehend that.
Well, let me say this has been a project for the city of Sandstone for literally 45 years when the school district announced that they'd be leaving the site in 1979. And as early as 1980, that community rallied around this school. You know, they had an SOS campaign of Save Our School. So this has been a multi-generation project for the city. I am fortunate that I've been able to work with them since 2022 to help them develop a solution for this building. As you might imagine, a building in that condition, not to mention located in a very small community of 1,200, it's a big project. It's a big lift. And it really took a lot of collaboration between me and the city to develop a plan and a process that engaged a wide variety of stakeholders around this idea that this heart and soul of the community, this built heart and soul of the community, could be repurposed as housing.
And repurposed, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, even though you and I are talking about housing today in this school, this really gets into an economic development problem for Minnesota and for this community about jobs and regional economies and people needing places to live in these small communities.
Well, that's what I was going to get to, is that you've got 32 apartments here, and I looked through the floor plans. You know, it was very interesting, transforming, you know, classrooms. You still see the kind of the hallway of a classroom, but then there are apartments, a variety of floor plans with the space that you have. There's still some classroom numbers or labels on the door frame. Fascinating there, but the way you described that these 32 apartments are for workforce housing, that this is for people that live and work in the community at rates that they can afford within the economics of that community. Explain workforce housing and the mission there.
Yes, you're exactly right. So in a small community of 1,200, it can be a challenge to demonstrate that there's a need for 32 new housing units. That being said, if you talk to local employers, the first thing you hear is, we can't get people to work for us. There's no place for them to live. So what we did is and I say we, me and the city of Sandstone, reached out to innumerable employers in the region, everyone from the Federal Correctional Institute in Sandstone, the local grocery store, Essentia has a hospital there, Mille Lacs Corporate Ventures has a hotel nearby. So we reached out to all these employers to say, tell us who works for you, tell us where they're coming from, tell us what kind of rent they can afford, and then we will help you create housing so that these people can live in the community that they work in and reduce their commute times and have a home closer to their job. And through that process, we developed support with over 12 employers that represented more than 2,000 jobs in the area. That helped us work with Minnesota Housing, which has a workforce housing development program for Greater Minnesota, to put this project together. And I will say the state of Minnesota has been a key player in this project across multiple agencies, including Minnesota Housing, Minnesota Deed, the Department of Commerce, and the Minnesota Climate Innovation Finance Authority to make this project happen.
So it is leasing now. I mean, what is the progress in terms of getting folks in there?
Well, I'm so excited to have people that look at this building, remember it as a school, but think, I can live there. That can be my home. And as of today, we're about 2 weeks away from opening for residents to start moving in. As of today, I believe we're about 50% leased. There's certainly more units available. And you mentioned the details that we have today, including the hardwood floors and the numbers over the classrooms and the old classroom doors. And you just let me know when you want a tour. And I would love to have you guys out to show you the building.
Oh, well, based on the pictures and again, the floor plans and everything, it's so unique based on what you're working on. And then we need to mention that it is called now Book Match is the name of the apartment complex. And that is because of the style of the architecture, in that at one point, the school was doubled and they built a mirror. Basically, the addition was a mirror of what was already there. Did I have that right?
Yeah, you're exactly right. So original building built in 1901, struck by lightning in 1909, the entire interior burns to the ground. So in 1910, they decide, well, we're going to not only rebuild our school, but we're going to take that portion from 1901 and mirror image it in 1910. And if you do any carpentry or stoneworking, you know that when you take a piece of wood or a piece of stone and you cut it in half and open it up and it's a mirror image, that's called book matching. So this is honoring the process and the carpentry and all of the labor that went into creating this original school and then recreating it as housing today, combined with the idea of the architecture.
All right. Well, it's been fascinating to look at all the information here on this one. I think it is so cool when we save these great old buildings. A school, a jail. You see old churches that are saved. The country churches. Any other projects that you're working on that you're able to tell us about at this point?
From a real estate development perspective, I am absolutely open to your ideas and suggestions. I don't have one on my radar. I also run a consulting company called New History based in the Twin Cities. And we work with communities all over Minnesota to find creative solutions for keeping these buildings and putting them back in use.
Yeah, I love seeing those old buildings. Like when people have transformed old firehouses into apartments or you name it. It's just so cool to see the history preserved, but yet new ideas. I saw one, an old church, that people have transformed into a home, and the way that they've reorganized the architecture there. It's fascinating. I appreciate you taking the time. I could talk about this for a long time, but we got to go. All right.
Well, like I said, I'd love to have you to the building. Ribbon cutting is August 8th, and I will send you an invitation.
I appreciate that. August 8th. Megan Elliott with Jill Pine. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you again, I hope.
Thank you. Me too.
All right.